I'm Tom Lux with the Machinist District 751 Labor History Committee, and it is February 3rd, 2011, and we're here today again with Jerry Dargitz, who was Secretary Treasurer of District 751 and also an international rep. And Jerry hired in 1956, and he retired in 1986, and he's going to talk a little bit about some of the personalities of that time period and of different events, and let us know more about what happened then.
Okay.
Hi, Jerry.
As you said, I'm Gerald L. Dargitz, known as Jerry by the people I represented in the union. I hired in at a time when a lot of young men were doing the same thing. I got discharged from the Army, came back from Korea, and did, as I said, like every other young American that was born in Seattle, they went to work for the Boeing Company, which was the only company in town that would guarantee you, at that time, a retirement. I joined the union September 28th, 1956. That was just following the strike that Boeing's had. They have a strike.
I believe the strike you're talking about was in 1965.
Yeah, that's the one.
And John Sullivan was district president then.
John Sullivan was the district president, and Bill Bullwinkle was the secretary treasurer. We had the strike jumping ahead, and I can't come back without being all wrapped up. The strike that was held in 1965, John Sullivan passed away during that strike. It left the district with an open contract and no district directing business representative. So it was determined by the district council at that time, instead of having a all-union vote for another district president, the district council would appoint the president. They had a very interesting tally where Waltberg came out by 7 votes as the district business representative. Bill Bullwinkle, who was the Secretary of Treasurer, remained as District Secretary Treasurer. And those 2 offices were held until the next general vote for officers in the entire district. When that occurred, Waltberg did not make, in the 1965 strike, John Sullivan, as I said, passed away during the strike. The district council voted and approved Waltberg as secretary treasurer and Bill Bullwinkle as Waltberg as district president. Waltberg as directing secretary, directing president, and Bill Bullwinkle continued as secretary treasurer. When it came time for the next district elections, and direct elections at that time were for district office for 3 years. Just prior to that round of next elections, the membership voted to change the bylaws and make the district offices 4 years. So the directing business rep then being Walt Berg, and Bill Bullwinkle had not made that election. A gentleman by the name of Ray Johnson became the Secretary Treasurer. And Ray Johnson was in for one full term. Walt Berg was in for that term. And then the next election, Tom Edwards and Bill English ran for business rep, directing business rep and Secretary Treasurer. While they were in office, District 751 received a massive cut in membership. We went down almost 30,000 members. We were over 50,000 before that cutback. The International came in and took over the district. And cut the business representative size from 14 down to 7. A number of things occurred up to during this time from 1965 to 1971. And that was that we had a hard time finding places to hold our various elections. So we held one election at the Rainier Ballpark, or Six Stadium as it was called. That was unique in that everything was out in the open except for the bleachers. And they had a count of the ballots, and it showed the membership had approved or had rejected the contract. They had rejected the contract and rejected going on strike by failing somewhere between 3 and 5 votes.